we're here in the main broodmare barn in Ballylynch Stud. This barn is a very substantial barn with 40 stables. It was built in the 1970s, and like many buildings built at that era, it was very well constructed, but it had a single skinned roof and a very low pitch to that roof and no canopy at the apex. So what I found was that this barn didn't ventilate as well as I would have liked. We had significant problems with moisture retention within the barn, condensation on walls, etc., etc. And I felt that it wasn't conducive to good health, respiratory health in the foals in the barn. So we set about rethinking it completely, and we've come up with this structure which we built as an external structure to the original barn, which has as you can see, a much higher pitch. It has very good lighting panels. We put a raised canopy, which we did in a translucent material, and we put a ventilation at both the eaves and part way up through the roof itself.
Good ventilation removes heat and stale air while reducing moisture, ammonia and dust, all of which can irritate the airways and create a suitable environment for microbial growth. Circulation of air in housing and exercise areas is crucial. Dust, mould and bacteria can damage the lungs and airways, affecting both performance and quality of life.
Improving deficient ventilation not only improves air quality and reduces the frequency of respiratory disease, but also reduces other annual problems in stud farms such as diarrhoeas and foals. Correct ventilation results in 6 to 8 air changes per hour. The smoke bomb test is a very useful tool to evaluate ventilation. The smoke bomb test effectively demonstrates whether, in the case of a poorly ventilated stable, there is nowhere for the smoke to go, and air change is impossible or unacceptably slow and reflective of what would happen with dust, spores and ammonia, or as in this example, the ventilation is of good quality, effectively moving the smoke up to the outlet vent. Natural airflow above a horse's head height, provided by permanently open ventilation, is required. An outlet or exit vent at the highest point in the roof ridge allows stale air and contaminants to escape. Ceilings or loft storage will block free movement of air to the outlet. As we can see in this case, the smoke is dispersed very quickly and will satisfy our 6 to 8 air change per hour.
Here we see an excellent example of permanent open ventilation, which is continuous along both eaves, providing fresh air evenly distributed to each stable. If Yorkshire boarding or similar is used, the area of timber or plastic is not considered inlet area. Bird mesh covering should also be considered. Louvered windows or controllable windows and doors that can easily be opened and closed depending on the weather to avoid creating drafts are also inlet options.
Consider structures adjacent to stabling impacting the quality of air and ease of air movement. If sheltered by very close trees or other structures directly adjacent, such as an indoor arena, the quality of air entering the stable will be lower. If air passes a manure pit, a hay store or deep littered group housing space, for example, before entering the stable, it is not considered clean ventilation.
Providing high quality ventilation and reducing exposure to dust via feed, forage, bedding and the environment are relatively easy to achieve and can have a hugely positive effect, significantly reducing the need for veterinary intervention.
We believe that the improvement in air quality can only be a benefit to young competitive athletes who we want to do well as racehorses later on, so we believe that their respiratory health at a young age is extremely important.